any business owner knows that if you cut little things along the way, those little cuts turn into big, big results in the back end. And there's a reason why every single business owner that I know who's successful is very good at watching their money. They're very good at being careful about wasteful spending. $100 there, $1,000 here, 10 grand over there. In a vacuum doesn't sound that bad, but when you start adding it all up, it's a lot of money. And so now with Doge, what we're finding out is that we are about to be saving $1 billion a day in inefficiencies, just wasted money, $365 billion a year of money just going out the door for who knows what. And I'm not going to get into the specifics because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but there are things going on that where you would see them. You can go look this stuff up on the internet and say, what in the world are we spending $30 billion on that for? Or what are we spending even $100 million on this for? And so again, in a vacuum, they don't sound like big amounts, 50 million here, 100 million there, but they're massive when you start adding them up. And that's basically how people get away with fraud is they start doing little things here or there. You get a little siphon off in the government of 10 million or 20 million. And because the federal budget is so big, because 6.75 trillion is such an insane number, they can kind of get away with this stuff. Well, if you start shining the spotlight on all these little different pieces of waste, again, they just start to add up. And that's how we get our debt paid off. So number one, we got to stop spending so much. Number two, we've got to get the economy really growing. And I love this quote. Jamie Dimon said this one time, and this really stuck with me. He said, nothing pays for anything like a growth strategy. And it's just a really simple way of saying we got to get the GDP growing 3-4% a year. So there's a lot of debate as to how you do that. How do you get the economy growing 3-4, maybe even 5%? That's a little bit ambitious, but at least 3 or 4% instead of the anemic 1 or 1.5% we've been getting. Well, one of the things you got to do is have a basic understanding of what drives growth. Is it capital or is it ideas? And yes, you need capital to fund ideas, but capital is not the starting point. In fact, if you look at entrepreneurs in our country, or if you look at the Forbes list of all the billionaires, most of them were self-made, and most of them didn't inherit money. So it's not like they started with a ton of capital. Most companies start with almost nothing. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in his garage, and same with Bill Gates with Microsoft. Well, what'd they do? They just did little things over time that added up into big results. It all started with ideas. And you only get good ideas in an economy consistently when you have the rule of law and personal property rights, when people know that they're going to keep a big part of what they have.